Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinx.
Good morning, Dr. Ahmed. You looked at Rufai looking for his reaction. Good morning. How are you this morning? Good morning, Ayo.
This is your color. This is fuchsia.
I don't think so. I think
it's electric pink.
Electric.
The way of electricity.
Electricity.
I'll try. Good job.
Frequency.
I can't believe electricity. You guys play too much.
Frequency.
Good morning, Rufai. How are you this morning?
Somebody saw me yesterday and said, where is Oji? He said her middle name should be Oji Wawulens Ojinika.
I like Wawu. I don't like Vawulens. I like Wawu. Yes. Well, all right. Good morning to you, viewers. Well, let's begin what's trending. On Wednesday, at least 4 people, including a nurse in murder, were killed in violent protests that rocked several states across the country over the lingering fuel and naira scarcity. The protests were witnessed in Edo, Oyo, Delta, Kwara, Ondo, Benue and Akwa Ibom State. In Benin City, the Edo State capital, protesters barricaded the gate of the Central Bank of Nigeria in an attack foiled by a combined team of officers from the Nigeria Police Force and the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps.
Jesus, why did I go to work today? Why did I come to work today?
Upper boys,
they don't come.
they come around now.
They just carry bus now. They just drop them. Everybody just run.
Are they outside since now? I don't know why I comment away. You also said.
Joseph, why should I call you since when you could carry me go house? Oh!
They don't want. I never run. They want.
Joseph, how am I going to go home?
They go now. Just come down. Relax. Come down.
Madam, make a pass. Just come.
Somebody! They don't kill somebody! Wait now! See somebody, you don't see her for ground!
Jesus Christ!
Where did I come to work today?
Don't go.
That guy don't die! And the boy is still on the floor! They should do something!
Well, the Edo State government is calling on security agencies to arrest and interrogate the former governor of the state, Oshiomhole, for allegedly inciting the public against the CBN cashless policy. The state's commissioner of communication and orientation during a press briefing alleged that a viral video in which the governor was seen instigating the protesters led to the riot in the state's capital, Benin.
We've been around the city all day. We've been speaking with some of these protesters. And we've done our own very serious and thorough investigation. And unfortunately, we have discovered that there's more than meets the eyes. At this juncture, I'd like to call on the security agencies to call former Governor Oshiomhole for questioning. He should be arrested and also made to account for his movement in the last few days, especially here in Benin City. Oshiomhole deliberately instigated the riots or the protests of the people.
Protesters were injured as cars and automated teller machines were destroyed in Delta State and other states over the scarcity of the old and new naira notes, as you'll see in these videos that have gone viral. Well, I hope that we can get that video that showed a lot of the violence that occurred yesterday in all those states that I mentioned earlier because of the scarcity of the naira. Well, I hope that, Buhari's pronouncement this morning will help douse a lot of the tension that occurred yesterday in all those states. But I wanted your thoughts on the protest as well as the call for Oshiomhole's arrest. There was a video that was circulating. I'm not sure if that's the video that the State's Commissioner was referring to, where it appeared that Oshiomhole was just talking to a group of people. I don't know if that's the viral video. But I don't know what your thoughts are on
After
that.
the fashion, what we are saying is that because it's political season, everything is politicized. And nothing has been more politicized than this naira, redesign and, the attempt to withdraw the old denominations from circulation, 3 of them. So what we may just be dealing with here may just be politics. After all, the whole issue of the scarcity is all about politics, such that you have on one side some governors, 9 of them, state governments, as plaintiffs before the Supreme Court, and then another 2 joining the federal government as co-defendants. And the division is along partisan political lines. So if the Edo State government says, we suspect Adams Oshiomhole, they are on 2 different sides of the divide. And I think that the security agencies, they don't take instructions from the Edo State government, not even from the governor. Okay? So if they suspect anything, they will have to go and report formally to the police, and they will have to provide the evidence to prove it. Because if everybody can just give instruction on partisan basis to DSS, to police, to other security agencies, that would be a prescription for anarchy.
Yes.
So, but Adams Oshiomhole, he is capable of defending himself.
Yes.
And don't be surprised if we hear from him. However, we all expect that beyond the partisanship that has been demonstrated by the political parties, the president has taken a higher moral ground, emphasize moral ground, by trying to douse the tension, by appealing to Nigerians, by empathizing with them, by sympathizing with people who have suffered difficulties, not just the ordinary man who wants to get money from the bank, even the bankers themselves. Even if the CBN has directly accused, some of the bankers of sabotaging the policy. And there has been proven evidence. At least 1 bank was found hoarding money in his vaults and refusing to give the money to depositors who wanted access to their money. But we hope that the tension will go down with the leadership that the president has provided, and that the CBN will also ensure that the banks take consequential action along the lines directed by the president. Third point, in one of those videos, 3 or 4 people who were told died in Benin. Now, the reports indicated that the police, in trying to maintain law and order and prevent a breach of public peace, were firing tear gas and bullets into the air. That's what the reports indicated. We have heard that before, too many times. We hear it all the time, that the police fire into the air. But there are bullets that they purportedly fired into the air will end up hitting somebody on the ground. So, clearly a case of police brutality. Absolutely. In the course of doing their job, trying to maintain the peace and order, these same policemen who are also suffering from the difficulties that the president referred to, turn their guns on hapless, innocent Nigerians who are just expressing their frustration. That is condemnable. Before, what is that, their spokesman again, the first police PRO, before he comes now and he says the police has what they call standard operation procedure. Apparently, they only talk about standard operating procedure at the police headquarters. The rank and file in the various police commands, not having been properly trained, don't know what is called standard operating procedure, because there is a manual for how policemen should control crowd. You fire into the air to warn, and you don't fire at the human being. Anyway, those who went to police college, if they ever taught them there, they should be reminded of that standard operating procedure. And those policemen who turned their guns on the protesters should be identified and properly disciplined.
Absolutely. Rufai.
It's quite very sad that because of a policy that is supposed to help our ailing economy, people have lost their lives. And I pray for the repose of the souls that have lost their life in all of this. A naira redesign is to better the economy, it's not worth the life of people. I feel very sad about that. But also, it speaks volumes to the problems we have in the country. Only 2 days ago, President Muhammadu Buhari launched some new gears for the police, where I saw riot gears there, where I saw water cannons there. I mean, it speaks volumes because you will have thought that things like water cannon, dispersal tools can be used to disperse the crowd. But it just speaks to the things youths legitimately came out to protest for in 2020, NSAS and police reforms. It just shows that nothing has been done. The police has not been effectively kitted since then. Everything must always resort to live ammunition, which is wrong. There are better ways of dispersing crowds. I didn't see a water cannon there. I didn't see a lot of things there. You know, there's so much that can be done. But also on the flip side of the argument, politicians, for what it's worth, should stop all the shenanigans they are doing with this protest. Yes. The naira redesign should not lead a mob to burning banks and destroying property. Because if we say the police officers that killed people should be arrested, the protesters that burned banks too should be arrested and be made to face the law.
Absolutely. Rufai, before you continue, let's just take that video of those protesters that were out there burning banks destroying people. If we can play that.
Yes, Father! Yes, Father! Yes, Father! You know, boss! Yeah, Papa! Our own money!
Like this one, our journey bar they scatter now for New Benin for Kwara Road. La first bank now.
And like I keep saying, the solution to a headache is not cutting the head off. We are all in this together. This is to better the economy. And for all the people protesting, yes, you are facing the hardship, but this policy is to be able to normalize the economy that you protested that has gone bad all these years because of the shenanigans of all these politicians and because they are the ones storing the money. The worthlessness of our naira, to apart from unsound economic policies, the politicians should share a major blame in all of this. And concerning the man that the finger, I don't think people should point accusing fingers because of politics. All right? Investigation should be done. If anybody is found wanting that have, organized all of this, they should be made to face the book. But you can't just tip people without investigation and calling Adams Oshiomhole's name in all of this because they're on the opposing part now. Make investigations, but whoever is using these people, because it's not only here, it's spread across every part of the country. Absolutely. Look at Abeokuta the last week. Is the solution burning banks? So there's no right-thinking person that have money in a bank that will go ahead and burn the bank. And we should caution ourselves too.
Absolutely. We
want the country to be better. This country is for all of us. Nobody has a better legitimacy of anger than the other person. Mm-hmm. Me too, I've been doing transfers. Anyway, I've been doing transfers all this while. But I don't have 1,000 naira. Ayo, when you brought up 500 naira today, didn't it feel novel to me?
Yes.
Yes. But I can't say because it's like that, then I go to start setting banks ablaze. They too must be arrested. And in all fairness, there are people that are queuing on about the banks and they're getting money.
Absolutely.
Truth has to be told. Some banks too have been cooperating. I remember the story of a bank, was it FCMB, that was even giving water and drinks to people that were in the queue. Please, let's calm things down.
Ayo.
All right. I mean, a lot has been said already. So the only thing I would mention is with regards to the first story with Adams Oshiomhole, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. There's a statement credited to him, and I'll just read it verbatim. CBN's naira design policy is senseless. CBN deceived Buhari, and the intention behind it was to stop the elections. Even though, yes, the Edo State government calling for an investigation into him inciting young people, resulting in this violence, it just shows that for politicians at this time when things are tense, they must take responsibility for the things they say. So if you're making claims like this that could hit up the already charged up young people, Nigerians who are suffering, who are frustrated, then as a leader you ought to be able to take responsibility. There are a number of politicians who have made careless statements at the expense of their followers. And so this is why it's important when we're speaking about things like this, if it's not fact, if you know it would make things worse and not better, then it's better not to say anything at all. Because when it escalates to this, we are now looking at videos of young people. I mean, as we mentioned already, there's no excuse. The faces of the people are on screen, and I hope that the policemen will investigate and bring, make them face the law. But leaders must also be responsible with the things that they say, because there are people whose actions sometimes are dependent on the conversations that are had.
Absolutely. I mean, talking about the cashless policy, I think that everybody should just calm down, because even masquerades are complying with the policy, as we'll see in this video. An obedient Nigerian right there. All right, then, we'll take another story. The All Progressives Congress on Wednesday held their rally in Edo State, where the party's flag bearer, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was welcomed by a massive crowd at the Yakubu Gowon Stadium in Port Harcourt, the state's capital. The rally is coming as the opposition's People's Democratic Party cancelled their campaign in the state after a series of controversies and reported attacks on members of the party in the state. Tinubu at the rally urged his supporters, particularly the youth, to ensure that the forthcoming election is hitch-free and devoid of violence. The rally ended with the APC members reciting the national anthem. When the anthem began, Tinubu was seen holding up his walking stick, to the confusion of many. Let's take a look.
Let's build a nation of joy, a nation of unity, a nation that is hardworking, that is working together, not killing one another. May God bless you all. Bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Rivers.
Very much.
Thank you, Rivers. Thank you very much, Rivers. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Cole, for making us all look so good. Now the national anthem.
I can hear my director saying, Wakanda forever. Well, after that rally, the Edo State Governor, Wike, hosted Tinubu at the government house in Port Harcourt. Along with other dignitaries during the meeting, Wike blamed the federal government for the naira scarcity, which has resulted to violent protests across the country, further describing the naira redesign policy of the CBN as anti-people, stating that it is unacceptable for the federal government to disobey the ruling of the Supreme Court on the matter.
How can you people be in government at this time? At this time, Governor of the Central Bank disrespecting the Supreme Court. Where has it happened in any democracy? Governor of a Central Bank thinking of whether to obey Supreme Court order. Where has it happened? I'm not talking about Federal High Court order. I'm not talking about Court of Appeal. I'm talking about Supreme Court said, do not do this. And everybody is folding hands, begging Central Bank to obey Supreme Court order. Which country has it ever happened? Even the order of Supreme Court is not obeyed, what are you telling the poor people on the streets? Everybody should go to the street. Anarchy. Supreme Court, not Federal High Court, not Court of Appeal. It has never happened anywhere. This is the first time it is happening. not a governor of the state, governor of central bank. Whether I will obey, whether I will not obey. I have never seen that happen in my life. It's the people's government.
All right, I don't think I'll have time to take my other stories. I'd like for, you guys to really comment on both stories quickly.
On both stories?
Yes.
No, so at first, Wike is saying that, but I think the Attorney General, they put up a statement in response after that judgment, that interlocutory injunction, was made that from the Supreme Court that the government was going to abide by it, then it was also going to file something in defense, which was extended. So I think what we should look at is the position of, and I'm sure what he's saying is in reaction to what Emefiele said yesterday. And I think we've need to clarify that the Supreme Court must be upheld because, you see, it's the apex courts. And we shouldn't invite anarchy into the land. But concerning the, the person that held up See, Oji, at first, I want to challenge you. Yes. This video is doctored.
Again, Rufai, yes. Okay.
And secondly, if it's not doctored, though, it's swag.
No, I want to know why you think so, Dr. Martin. Really quickly on both stories, you tell me after why.
Just quickly, since we don't have time. Wike, the governor of Rivers State, received in audience the presidential candidate of the APC and members of his delegation, a further confirmation of his anti-party activity as alleged by members of his own party, the PDP. However, in the course of that court visit, he didn't go as far as endorsing the presidential candidate of the APC. He still insisted that he's in the PDP and that, he would not tell his followers to vote in the other elections for APC. So he didn't endorse Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Well, he praised him as a man of
but
character.
He received him. He said he's a man of character. Yeah. He said all the nice things.
Right.
And Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself said, look, he was visiting him to show respect, to respect his decision to support Southern presidency. And at the rally, Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu talked about security and how he would do a lot for security in the people in the Rivers State. Maybe he didn't quite hear that the national anthem had been announced. Yes. Maybe somebody said, Ikira, 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 as Lagbaja did. And then he responded. But I wasn't there. I'm just trying to play the devil's advocate.
Please, what is Ikira? I need to know what
you don't know Lagbaja?
No.
Lagbaja, Ikira. Ikira, you raised
your hand. My director was right. He was saying Wakanda forever. Yes.
I love the video is doctor.
Okay, it's enough. It's enough.
Thank you all.
Yes,
as always, for your great analysis on what's trending. Well, that's all I have for you on what's trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.